and welcome to a very special mini episode of The Other Side of Sales, where we are here to introduce Sue Singh, one of our new co-hosts. So Sue, thank you for joining us on this crazy journey for Other Side of Sales.
I couldn't be happier. I was just waiting for you to ask me when.
Kind of were. No joke. Like we had the conversation, but I asked her if she wanted to do this. And for about 2 weeks after, as I was going and talking to everybody else, you were pinging me every day or doing, can we start? Can we start? What can I do?
Yep, absolutely.
So, I love it. All right. So let's start out. For those who don't know you, tell them a little bit about yourself. What's your sales journey been like?
My sales journey started by accident in 2004. I didn't mean to go into sales at all. I was going to join an MBA, but then after my graduation, my dad felt really sick and I wanted to be at home and spend time with him instead of going off to grad school. So I went for an interview hoping for a customer service role and ended up being in sales. So I started being in sales, but then I had thankfully some great managers to start with. So I really fell in love with sales, and I've been in sales ever since, 15 years now.
Yeah. And you're based in Hyderabad.
Yes, I am in Hyderabad in India, and I've been working largely for the US market. And I've worked for a little while in the UK, Southeast Asian markets as well.
Okay, so let's be clear here. So that means, you're working the US market from India. That means you're basically working what, 11 o'clock to 4 a.m. or something?
Usually work from 8 p.m. to 4 or 5 a.m.
Anyone from the States who, like me, has complained about having the early shift and having to work East Coast hours from the Pacific, there is literally a whole part of the world that looks at us and laughs. And I feel very grateful that I do not know how you do that. That still blows my mind.
Yeah. And, for me and a lot more of me's here, it's just a matter of fact. I'm like, okay, I work US shift. So that's it. Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised the number of times that people ask me like, hey, you work nights? I'm like, of course. I have to.
I was trying to think about this before we started. How did you discover Other Side of Sales, or how did we connect?
I think it was one of Scott Ingram's posts.
Okay. That makes sense. It was just like we were both tagged in it or something. And
I think so, yeah. One of those posts, like one of his really, really early posts. That's where I came across you and the Other Side of Sales.
Yeah, this was probably like right when Thursday night sales was getting started.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Got
absolutely.
it. Yeah, really.
Yeah.
So describe a time when you felt like you were an other in sales.
Always felt like another. One, I'm a woman in sales. Two, I started off my career really, really early. So when I joined my first job, I was the only 20-year-old there. And again, it might sound like early for you, you'd be like 20 is normal in the US, but here in India specifically, people don't start working until they're 22, 23. So the people in my team were all at least 5-6 years older to me. And I was like the youngest there, and I was a woman, and I wasn't, corporate world was new to me. So, I never was able to fit in right then. And then, working through my way, I've always been like, I've been an introvert. I am an introvert. I wouldn't say, although I like talking to people, I wouldn't go out of my way to do it.
It doesn't energize you.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Again, it's not sales. Sales and talking to people is what I do for work. And then I do that because that's work, right? But in my personal life, I am not an extrovert. I'm not somebody who would, just go and talk to random people and be the center of the party and attention. I'm like, nah, I'm like, okay, I'm happy being in a corner and just being in my own world. So yeah, always felt like another.
I think there's a lot of people who are going to resonate with that. So what are you most proud of in your sales career?
That I have made relationships in sales, not just sales. Yeah. So I've had customers who've been friends. I've had counterparts who become like family throughout the years. And even if you're not in touch for a couple of years, I know that any point of time we go back and we're back to where we were. So yeah, so those relationships that I've built over the years is always more satisfying than anything else.
What is the first thing that you're going to do when COVID is over and normality, air quotes, resumes?
Try and come and visit you.
Yeah.
No, seriously, that's on
Yeah,
my the top of
this
the
is
list.
serious. Yeah, we've seriously been talking about this for about 6 months already.
Yeah.
So Sue's gonna come to the Netherlands.
Yes, as
We're
soon
gonna
as
introdu-
possible.
We're gonna introduce your kids to my dogs, and
Yeah,
go
and
sit on a
probably she'll
canal in the
stay back
sunshine.
there. Yeah, and my daughter will probably stay back there. She prefer dogs over me any day.
I think most girls your daughter's age prefer dogs over just about anything.
Yeah.
Anything fluffy beats out parents any day of the week.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us in this journey. It's going to be a lot of fun.